So if you're someone who is looking for your person, looking for the one that is meant for you, today's episode is going to give you what you need, the one thing that you can stop doing in order to find that person. Let's go. Hi, I'm Dr. Tiff, your relationship transformation coach. I've spent the past 20 years working with high-achieving women just like you who are crushing it in every area of their lives, everywhere except their relationships. And look, I get it. Finding the one ain't easy, and relationships are hard. But you know what's even harder? Cycling through the bad ones, or worse, staying in relationships when you already know they're not a good fit. You want a relationship of ease, uncomplicated, someone to love you down, but instead you've been suffering through bad dates, sexual incompatibility, and someone who might be good for somebody, but not for you. And if we're really being honest, you know that deep down, the work that really needs to be done starts and ends with you. If you're done wasting time in dead-end relationships and sick of looking for, chasing after, or trying to convince somebody to be the one, and you're ready to become the one, then baby, you're in the right place. So prop your feet and let's clink glasses, because I'm giving you the tea and the tips to fix your relationships. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to Fix Your Relationship Podcast. I am Dr. Tiff, and I'm so excited that you're joining me today. And I'm hopeful that you have been enjoying the podcast thus far. If you have been following for a while, you know that we recently made some changes to the podcast. I've been doing more talking and less interviewing, as per your request, and really sharing some insights into how we can better fix our relationships. And part of that is doing some self-work, owning our shit, and getting ourselves together so that our relationships can exceed our expectations, they can thrive, and we can be in the relationships that we desire and deserve. But we can't get there without focusing on our own growth and our own transformation. So, I'm hoping that you're liking everything so far, but you know what? I don't know that unless you tell me that. So I would love it. Love, love, love it. And I feel like others would love it too. If you would just leave a review on Apple Podcasts for me. This helps me in so many ways. It helps the podcast in so many ways. One, it lets me know what content you're enjoying, what resonates with you, and ultimately what you want more of. So in that way, it helps me. It helps me to provide for you what exactly you need, because I want to do that. I want to be very intentional about what I'm putting out, and that what I'm putting out is exactly what you need. So it definitely helps when you do that. Also, by reviewing the podcast, it absolutely helps other women who are looking for this type of content. They may not find it if it's not, let's say, ranked a little bit higher, or, no one's interacting with it. So by giving us the stars, by writing a review, it lets people know. And I know you guys are like this too. I'm like this. When I see something new, whether it's something at a store or online website, or even podcasts that I don't know too much about, or an app that I want to purchase on my phone, I look at the reviews first. I look to see, okay, is this going to be worth my time? Is the juice worth the squeeze, honey? And so I need the people to know, I need the women to know that the juice is definitely worth the squeeze. Okay. And so that's one way that we can do that. That's one way that we can let other people know that the podcast is amazing and that you're really loving it, to write a review. So if you would do me a solid and do a review for me over in Apple Podcasts, I would greatly appreciate it. And I thank you in advance. All right. So today we are going to be talking about something that I want you to stop doing if you're looking for the one. Okay. So many of you, I feel like my listeners some of you are married, some of you are dating, some of you are in situationships, some of you are super single, some of you are just trying to figure things out. You're on hiatus, but many are looking for their person. Some are married and looking for their person. Okay. So I might be talking to you too. So if you're married, don't tune out. Okay. Because there may be a gem in here for you. The Lord will give me something to give you. Okay. So don't tune out today. But there is something that I feel like we can stop doing in order to improve our outcomes in relationships. So if you're someone who is looking for your person, looking for the one that is meant for you, today's episode is going to give you what you need, the one thing that you can stop doing in order to find that person. Let's go. So let's talk about why you might be struggling in your relationships. What has happened in the past that just really has left you like questioning life, questioning whether you're on the right team, questioning whether you should be dating at all? Plenty of people have been in relationships. I know I have been in the past where I was looking for something. And I set out to find someone that met the criteria. I don't know if any of you will remember this. Years and years ago, probably, I know it was after 2009, probably around 2009, I did a television show. It was my first television appearance. It was on VH1, What Chili Wants. And if you don't know, look it up. I may be able, you know what? If I have clips, I will, I'm going to make myself a note and I'll try and tag it down below in the show notes. I think I do have some clips on YouTube from my appearances, season 1 and season 2 on What Chili Wants on VH1. But in the show, Chili, Razonda Thomas from the group TLC, she was looking for her one. She was looking for the one. She is hopeless romantic. She's a beautiful person inside and out. And she was on a quest to find her person. And they brought me into the show because Chili had a list. She was working with a relationship coach at the time. And they were like, you know what? She needs a therapist. We got to get to the bottom of the list. And so when I met with her, the roadblock was that she had a laundry list of things that she was looking for in her relationships. And if someone did not meet each of these things, she was done. She was tuning out. It could have been a beautiful African prince. Like, he could have been everything. But if he didn't meet one of the criteria on her list, it was non-negotiable. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have standards, right? Or that we shouldn't have, kind of red lines on things that are absolutes for us, because I think there are some things that are some things that will make or break our compatibility. And we know those things up front. I think that that's fine. But when the list is a mile long, honey, when your list is a mile long, it could be that you are the reason that things aren't working out. Not saying that's the case, okay? But we have to think about that. We have to think about what we're actually asking, for in people, and if what we're really asking for is perfection. If what we're really asking for is to not be hurt again, not to be let down. Sometimes that list, so let's think about the list that we have, okay? Whatever that list is for you in your head of the things that you're looking for and what you want this person to be, do, or have, or whatever it is. A lot of times that list is built on hurt, disappointment, anger, resentment, not wanting to go backwards. I've been here before. I dated someone who did this, had this, was like this, and I don't ever want to do that ever again. So we build up the list. That's where it usually comes from. When we start having all of these kind of demands, and I'm not talking about like value type things, right? I'm talking about more of the maybe superficial things or baggage, right? Because we bring that into relationship too. And some of the things that are on our lists are more baggage than relationship criteria. Let me tell you what I'm saying. We sometimes will say things like, I don't want to date anyone who doesn't make, 6 figures, right? I mean, 6 figures is nice to have, okay? So no tea, no shade, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with it, okay? But what the challenge comes when we exclude people simply because they don't make six figures. You might meet someone that's making $85,000 a year or $95,000 a year, but because you're being so rigid, you miss out on a great person because they're not where you want them to be at that time. What also happens is when we're very rigid, we're not considering what we need. Sometimes our list is about what we want and what we desire to see. Sometimes it's about the fact that the last person I dated was broke as hell and stole money from me, didn't have his own stuff and lived off me. So I would prefer to have someone that made six figures so I don't have to worry about that. Well, let me tell you something, sweetie. You can date a wealthy jerk. You can date someone who has their own stuff and still takes advantage of you. When you make those lists and you make them so rigid, you only see that part of what you want, but you start to miss a lot of other things. I cannot tell you how many women I've worked with that have said he had all the things on paper, all the things lined up. But after a period of time of getting to know this person, I realized he wasn't any of that. It's not that he wasn't any of that. You just didn't see the stuff that was in front of you because you were fixated on what you wanted to see. And we have to take ownership of that. We have to take ownership of that. So today, if you were looking for the one, what I want you to do is lay down your list and stop looking for your type. Okay? Stop looking for your type. You got to ditch your type. If you have a type, we got to let that go. We got to let that go, or else you will be struggling with relationships for quite some time. I'm not saying that you should not have standards. I'm not saying that, you should go against the things that you know to be true, whether it's about yourself or about your past relationships or all of those things. But what I am saying is that we have to start looking past some of the outward stuff, some of the more superficial stuff, and start looking inward, because inward is where the compatibility is. Inward is where growth happens. Inward is where you will find the love of your life. Okay. And so here's what I want you to do. If you know that your type has not worked out for you in the past, if you know that, you have a type, you have a list, and you've been looking for them and you met people that seem to check off the boxes, yet you're still single or you're still struggling, or every time the type comes along, they end up cheating or lying or leaving or whatever. I have to tell you something that, I heard Dr. Drew Pinsky say years and years ago, I never forgot it. He said, your picker is off. Your picker is off. And I think that many of us women can relate to that our picker, the thing that we use, our mind, right, to pick people in relationship sometimes fails us, is off. We think we know what we want, but we're not thinking about what we might need. So I want you to do these things in order to maybe move away from your type or picking your type and move towards actually finding the relationship that is going to be right for you. First and foremost, I want you to think about what you were looking for and what you were calling in. And I want you to compare that to what you actually ended up with. Okay. So think about your past, maybe it's your current relationship, or maybe it's past recent relationships. I want you to think about them. Think about who that person was, right? Think about the qualities that they brought or didn't bring, the things they left behind, right? With that relationship. I want you to think about how you went about pursuing that relationship, what you did, how you called it in, right? And then I want you to compare that, what you were looking for, with what you actually ended up with. Many of you will say, I was looking for, like I said, someone who's, 6 feet tall, made six figures, loved his mama, had his own place, knew how to, cook. That's all I want. Somebody to know how to cook and take care of their mama and all of these things, right? And that's all I want. Simple and basic. Okay. And so it's kind of like when we, looking on socials and we see, what I ordered versus what I got, what I was promised versus what I ended up with that came on my front steps. And a lot of times, because we're so laser focused on the thing that we want, we're missing out on some things, right? Yes, he loves his mama, but is he a mama's boy? Does he still live at home with her? Does he have to check in with her before he does anything? Does he prioritize his mom over me? These are things that I want to know. In early dating, yes, that might be okay. But after a few years, I might get tired of that, you know? And, he makes six figures. Yes. But is he cheap? And that is very different than he's good with money. He saves. He has a nest egg. He has his 401k. He has all the things. But no, is he like making money, but insisting that we go to Taco Bell because he don't see the vision. You don't see it. Or is he someone that like, he makes great money and he does all of these wonderful things, but I love to travel and he will not go anywhere that he can't drive to. That's going to be a problem for me. Okay. Because I'm trying to see the world. So what I was looking for versus what I ended up with. Okay. And so the next thing that I want you to examine and I want you to really think about, and I may want you, how about this? Let's make a list. I want you to make a list of what you want out of your relationships, what you have wanted in the past, right? What you've wanted in the past, what you've been looking for, what you've been calling in, right? And I want you to compare that to on the other side of the paper, what you need in a relationship. What's absolute? What do you have to have? Because what you'll find is that based on past experience, right, that fidelity may be more important to you than what he's wearing or what kind of car he drives or where he works. That respect may be more important to you than where he comes from or what school he went to or, what kind of car he drives and what his portfolio looks like. There are things that are very deep, that are on the surface that we would not know or see when we first meet a person. But those are the things that we need to seek out, not just the surface level stuff, not the superficial stuff. So if you're struggling in your past, even present relationships, if you've prioritized the type over the person, that's your Achilles heel. That's the problem. The more you get clear on what you want and really what you need in a relationship, the more you get clear on what's needed for you to feel comfortable, for you to feel safe, for you to feel loved, for you to feel valued, appreciated, all the things, the more you get clear on what you actually need, the less likely you will be fooled by what you don't want. Because sometimes we miss that. And those ultimately, sometimes they're even red flags, like they're glaringly obvious, but you miss it because you're only focused on what you want and not focused on the things that you know that you need. And the things that you know you need are based on past experience. It's based on if I already know I've been in a relationship with enough guys that did this thing or had this thing or had this hang up or wouldn't do this, that's a red flag for me. I've been in too many relationships where guys said one thing, did another, or cheated or lied, or, we were incompatible and I've tried to do this before and this just didn't work out. Those are signs. Those are things. What I don't want for you I don't want you to waste your time. I think your time is too precious, too valuable. I don't want you to waste your time. And so in order for us not to waste time, we have to really think, we have to sit down, we have to be honest, we have to think about it, we got to own it, right? We have to own our stuff, right? And think about what I've called in, what I've desired in the past, and what actually would have been better for me if I had gotten out of my own way. And so that's what I want you to do now. Write down, get clear on what you thought you wanted before and what you actually need instead. Okay? So you're going to make that list, right? And the third thing I want you to do is to think about what your type is. And it's probably the stuff on the left side of that paper. What is your type? Okay? What has been your type in the past? I want you to think about that. And now that you know what that is, I want you to look for the opposite. Look for the exact opposite of it, okay? Because your picker is off. Like Dr. Drew said, your picker is off. Sometimes it's that we are looking for the wrong things. And it's not that you need to look for the exact opposite. I do say that. But what I need you to do is be open to something other than your type. Some people that have found the greatest loves of their lives have found them because they were not looking for, or because what showed up. They saw what showed up for them. Here's the thing. I don't believe that you haven't met the one. For those of you that are out there that are looking for the one, I don't necessarily believe that you haven't met the one. I believe that you did not see the one when they came across your path. But it's not that I don't think that you have never run into the one. I believe he's been right there. He or she has been right there, right up under your nose, walked past you several times. But because you were looking for your type, because you were looking for something very specific, you missed it. So when I say do the opposite, don't look at your type. Don't look for your type. What I'm saying to you is be open to something other than what you typically would look for. Okay. I think I've shared this on the podcast before. I don't know exactly what episode. So please, you can go back and listen to all the episodes and find it for me and then let me know. I know I've shared this before, but my husband and I recently had a conversation about like what it was that attracted. I think I asked him why was he attracted to me, or what was it he liked about me, or whatever. Because my husband and I are wildly different. There are things that he loves that I don't care about, and there are things that I'm very much into that he's oblivious to. Like it's just not his thing. There's so many things that we are opposite on, yet we are very much compatible, and we really work well and mesh well together. And so I was like, what do you think it was that made us work? Because we're very different. He was like, it was the fact that you never tried to change me. Simple as that. And I was like, wow, okay. So the fact that I saw him for who he was. And he was not, I will tell you, and I think he knows this, he was not my type. He wasn't the typical guy that I would date, but he was amazing in so many other ways. And he was so opposite of my type. He was not like someone that I usually would date. And that's what made him perfect. That's exactly what made him perfect. And so I would encourage you to look past your type, look for something opposite of your type. Okay. So those are the 3 things I want you to do today. I want you to think about what you've been calling in and compare that to what you ended up with. I want you to make a list of what you want, what you've wanted in the past in a relationship, and then start thinking about what you actually need so that you can get clear on, what you want to call in the future, right? And you're not wasting your time. And then third, whatever your type is, look for the opposite. Do the opposite of that. For sure. All right. So do these things and let me know how it works for you. I'm eager to hear. And then if you have some thoughts about your type, maybe, how your type has worked out for you in the past, or what you're looking for going forward, email me, let me know, because I'm nosy. I would love to hear about it. Email me at support@drtiffanyhenry.com. And Tiffany is spelled with an I-E, not a Y. I don't know who it goes to if you put a Y in there, but it won't be me. Okay. And if you need some help navigating your relationships, guess what? I'm here for you. I want to help. I have a few openings this month. And, if you don't see an opening when you click on, just check back weekly, because I'm updating my schedule at all the times. And your girl is busy. She has other things going on. So my schedule changes from week to week. So if you don't see something this week, just check back next week. I do have a few openings this month, though, for coaching. And I would love to meet you and help you achieve your relationship goals. So if you would like to set up a coffee chat, it's free. 15 minutes. We'll discuss one-on-one coaching and see if it's right for you. Just email me again at support@drtiffanyhenry.com. And I'll also put a link in the show notes to tap that, because some people like to just, tap. They like to just tap and get to where they're supposed to go. So I'll do that for you as well. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. This is Fix Your Relationship Podcast with Dr. Tiff. I am so thankful to you for being here, and I can't wait to see you again next week. Ciao. Hey, babe, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. My goal with this podcast is to bless you with information that helps you fix those relationships that are most important to you, but not before you do the self-work needed to make sure that those relationships thrive. If this episode was exactly what you needed, then guess what? Somebody else probably needs it too. So do me and them a favor. Please share this episode with your good girlfriend and let her know about the podcast. And while you're at it, hop on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. review. This really helps to grow the podcast and puts it right in front of other women who are desperate to work on their relationships and themselves. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to join our community of like-minded women all on a journey to become the one. You can sign up for free at becometheone.myflowdesk.com/email. I know that's a lot, so just go on over to the show notes and click that link there. Thanks again for listening to Fix Your Relationships with Dr. Tiff. I'll see you right back here next week.